Today on UMTV News, Biden is allowing Ukraine to use U.S. missiles on Russian soil. We'll tell you how people are reacting to it.
Plus, one local organization is finding small ways to make a big difference towards cleaner waters.
And later on, you can now buy a house in Italy for $1. It's not a joke. We'll bring you the details.
These stories and a lot more on today's episode of UMTV News. It starts right now.
Welcome to the last edition of UMTV News this semester. I'm Billy Brightman.
And I'm Ariel Weil. Thank you for joining us. It's now been 1,000 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, and now experts are weighing in on President Biden's reported decision to let Ukraine fire long-range U.S. weapons into some Russian territory. Could it pay off or result in payback?
It's definitely welcome news for the Ukrainians. Maybe a little bit too late for them.
President Joe Biden is giving Ukraine permission to use long-range U.S. weapons in Russia, according to two U.S. officials. Military experts say that could help Ukraine retain vital territory, but some observers worry about Russia's potential response.
Hits are not made with words. Such things don't need announcements. Missiles will speak for themselves.
One official says the Army tactical missile systems are primarily intended for use in the Kursk region for now. Allies hope Ukraine can hold on to it despite Moscow's deployment of about 50,000 troops there. That way, Ukraine can use it as a bargaining chip if peace talks occur.
It's not going to be a major game changer at the strategic level, but it could have strategic implications.
In September, the US and UK debated letting Ukraine fire conventional Western missiles into Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin responded by saying Moscow could use nuclear weapons if that happened. He also said if a nuclear power supported an assault in his country, he considered that nation a joint attacker.
The worries have tended to be overblown. We're not in some sort of war with Putin here.
The U.S. and allies are trying to shore up supplies for Ukraine before President-elect Trump takes office. They think he'll be less supportive than President Biden has been. Trump's transition team is not commenting directly on the long-range weapons decision. A spokesperson just says Trump has the ability to negotiate peace between Russia and Ukraine.
President Biden made an appearance today at the final G20 summit of his presidency in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. A photo of all the leaders was taken without Biden because of a, quote, logistical issue, but he still attended the conferences to discuss global policy strategies. The biggest world economic powers, nations from the European Union and nations from the African Union, discussed the environment as one of their most pressing topics this year, seeing what they can do to fight climate change.
Remarkable progress together, but we all know we have so much more to do. We all know what it takes. History is watching us. History is watching.
The White House released a statement saying Biden continued his legacy of leadership at the summit.
A local nonprofit is working hard to make waterways cleaner and safer. Angela Safone joins us now with the story and some solutions. Angela?
Thank you, Ariel. South Florida is surrounded by water, but have you ever stopped to think about what's actually in the water or if it's harmful? One organization called Residents for Resilience is raising awareness about water safety issues in our community and taking action to address them.
Have you ever wondered if the water that surrounds our communities is safe? According to U.S. geological surveys, pre- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, which are also known as forever chemicals, contaminate 45% of our waters due to increasing development, waste sites, sewage spillage, and more. But now, the nonprofit organization Residents for Resilience is working on a solution.
A lot of folks don't know that oysters, in and of themselves, one oyster can filter as much of a swimming pool worth of water a year. We've gotten in touch with various companies and organizations that are involved with building oyster walls and oyster beds.
But that solution doesn't come without a problem of its own.
Unfortunately, we killed 98% of them We destroyed them, we ate them. We took them out of the rivers, the mountains of them. And today we've got to work out how we can put those back.
Residents for Resilience launched the Restaurants for Resilience initiative, partnering with local restaurants to repurpose oyster shells. This will help grow new oyster populations to help filter our waterways naturally. You wouldn't expect something so small to make an impact so big. But oysters are not the only thing that can help clean our waters. It's the community that is making a difference and spreading awareness for this issue. One local organization is doing just that by putting on local events at places just like this in Tiki Tiki.
With this program and all the people we've brought together tonight, is just taking that step, towards building that positive energy and momentum we need.
Attendees learned about water quality, oyster restoration, and other initiatives that aim to make our waterways safe.
It's a group of individuals that have, come together, really try to promote solutions that can remediate these problems so that future generations can, enjoy the Fort Lauderdale we all know and love.
One way for Residents for Resilience to protect our waters is by advocating for better signage to warn people of potentially unsafe water bacterial levels. To learn more, you can visit their website at www.residentsforresilience.com. For UMTV, I'm Angela's Phone.
Thank you, Angela. Although early models projected that Tropical Storm Sarah would move into Central and South Florida, it's not expected to have much of an impact at all. However, it is expected to bring in moisture along with a cold front later in the week. However, the storm has caused major flooding in Honduras. 2 people are dead and over 150,000 have been affected. On top of this, officials say 200 houses were destroyed and thousands more were damaged. The storm is expected to continue to weaken as it moves across the Gulf of Mexico.
Spirit Airlines has filed for bankruptcy protection on Monday as the company's financial losses and debt payments have built up. The company faces more than $3 billion in long-term debt. The airlines has also struggled to recover from a failed attempt to merge with JetBlue Airways, which was blocked by a federal judge on the antitrust grounds. Spirit says customers can continue to travel with the airlines as it is trying to restructure its debt.
It's time for a short break now.
But when we come back,
both UM basketball teams are undefeated at 3-0.
Plus, we will tell you how much you will have to pay to buy a house in Italy if you want to move there. Let's just say it's very affordable. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Both Hurricanes basketball teams have perfect records in their short seasons, sweeping their opponents off the courts like the Storm they are. The men's team have dominated all of their opponents, finishing each game with an average of point separation of about 32 points. Meanwhile, the women's team got the best of their rival university, the Florida Gators, 83-73 in the Swamp. Haley Cavender scored 31 points in the victory, while the next closest Cane only scored 14 points. The women play the Miami rival FIU tonight at the Watsco Center.
One South Florida man is using his influence to help save the planet. Kayla Butter is here with the story. Kayla, what is he all about?
Since TikTok became popular in 2018, social media influencing has been on the rise, a job that Gray Davis takes a different approach on. He teaches his followers how to forage, hunt, and grow their own food.
What's interesting about this tree
in Gray Davis's plant-covered yard in Boca Raton, greenery serves as a bigger purpose than just curb appeal. It's the source of much of his diet. Davis is a forager. He searches the wildlife of Florida for a majority of his meals. The 21-year-old has a rapidly growing TikTok following where he shows the world that all he needs is nature to nourish his body.
Get outside and see what you can find. So growing up, my parents were both really into the outdoors. We'd go on trips down to the Keys and be out on the water all the time. And so I grew up around nature a lot, but I also had a passion for it.
But it wasn't until he bought his current home in the summer of 2022 that has a lawn full of edible plants that he learned how to grow plants himself.
My partner and I found this house, and he was telling me how he's going to get rid of the trees and we're going to have this beautiful grass lawn. And I started looking around and I noticed the different types of tropical fruit that are on these trees, and I couldn't do it.
After planting some of his own, Davis's yard is now home to more than 50 different varieties of edible plants. And while his yard is full of greens, Davis's social media fame can be attributed to his catching and eating of invasive species, like iguanas.
Got him.
And Burmese pythons.
How does python taste?
But Davis says his main focus is making sure his fruit trees stay safe from predators.
Whenever there's a pest, like these inchworms that get all over these trees, I'll simply just pluck them off the tree.
But it is not just his entertaining content that's attracted his more than 700,000 followers on TikTok.
I think people really get drawn to my page because it's authentic. It's what I've enjoyed doing my entire life, so you can't really fake what I do. There's a realness to it.
And he says he just hopes he can inspire others to live the same.
Davis keeps his followers updated with videos on his social media with his day-to-day activities. You can follow him at gray.davis on TikTok. For UMTV, I'm Kayla Butter.
Thank you, Kayla. Man's best friend will now have the opportunity to take a tropical cruise. The cruise line called Margaritaville at Sea is partnering with Cruise Tales to bring puppies out to sea. The ship could accommodate 250 dogs and their human companions. There will be activities for people and puppies, including dog shows, trainings, costume contests, splash stations, and puppy massages. Every pup will be pampered from pet relief stations to butlers. To join, pets must have updated vaccinations and will be subjected to health checks. It will embark out of Tampa in 1 year from now, and the waitlist will be open soon.
Delta Airlines first-class passengers will soon have a new menu item, and it's fast food. Delta is partnering with Shake Shack to serve the chain's cheeseburger on long-distance domestic flights beginning in December. Shake Shack will initially only be offered on flights out of Boston before expanding to other cities starting next year. The burger won't come with the traditional side of fries and a shake. Instead, passengers will get chips, a salad, and a brownie. And Delta is not the first airline to partner with a burger chain. United Airlines once served McDonald's Happy Meals back in the 1990s.
As you gather around the table next week for Thanksgiving, how about a glass of pizza wine to wash down the turkey? Pizza Hut is partnering with Irvine's Just Beyond Paradise Winery to offer a tomato-based wine that captures the essence of a pizza slice. According to the product's description, the wine offers hints of basil, oregano, and a hint of garlic. But Pizza Hut says it actually tastes more like a white wine when chilled. The limited edition wine can be found on Irvine's website by bottle or as a part of the gift box that is, of course, packaged like a pizza box.
And speaking of pizza, how about a chance to live in the land of pizza, Italy? Well, we have good news for you. The Italian village Ololai is offering homes to Americans for the cheap price of $1. The village, located on the island of Sardinia, has been trying to convince people to move there after decades of depopulation. They launched a website geared towards Americans disappointed in the presidential election results. Although anyone is welcome to apply, U.S. citizens are favored over other applicants. There are 3 houses available: free temporary homes to digital nomads, €1 homes in need of renovations, and ready-to-occupy homes for about $105,000. If you want more information, the village's mayor created a team to help interested buyers through the process. And Ariel, I mean, €1 homes, you can't say no to that.
I know, you really can't say no to that. And after 4 years at school here and what the job market's looking like, you know, $1 sounds like a great deal to me, that's for sure.
Time to get out, and perfect timing because this is our last show of the semester. Thank you for joining us over the past 10 weeks.
We'll be right back in the spring semester. Have a great week and a happy Thanksgiving.